English, yes.
No,
Just
not
one
German.
more.
No.
Okay. I have a huge problem, really a dangerous one. So basically, I normally work as an IT manager. I came to Germany with not so much money. I worked for Sky Deutschland and SAP. They didn't pay me, they didn't pay my AOK. It became a huge political problem for me in Munich. So my lawyer was in Hanover. I was supposed to go to the Arbeitsgericht to get compensation, get all my money back. And 1 week before the Arbeitsgericht, I got attacked very badly. My eye is very badly damaged. I have a concussion. And I ended up in Cologne. The 3 hospitals I had the problem with are in Cologne. San Antonio's was a junior doctor. Thought it was hilarious. My face was all blood. My eye, my face, my jaw, my head, and I had a German witness. We went to the police eye, they recorded him in Cologne, and I went to San Antonio's hospital. And the doctor I didn't know at the time was a junior, had no idea what he was doing, wrong medication, couldn't give a diagnosis. And this went on for 3-4 days. I was vomiting. No food. The German guy was bringing in food because the hospital wouldn't provide food. They had me on the wrong medication, and then they said, "Oh, you have to leave." I said, "But I still don't feel very well. A concussion is very dangerous, and I have 3 or 4." And what happened is, he said, "Before you leave, I need to talk to you because of the severity of your concussion." So on the day that I leave, he didn't turn up. I waited 5 hours. They refused to take my IV drip out. I had to go to another hospital to get the IV drip taken out. They gave me medical notes for Mohammed. I said, "I'm not Mohammed." They gave my medical notes to someone else. And I'm like, what is this? This is a joke. So I went back 4 or 5 times, and one of the senior staff there said, "Yes, you were treated really horrendously." And I said, I emailed, I called. This was like last summer. Then I ended up talking to the professor. He's like, "Yeah, well, I'm a professor. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again." I said, "That does nothing for me." I said, "I want to be compensated. I want to know why I was treated like this." And they kind of tended to fob me off. Then in the uni clinic, and this is really unbelievable, because Commerzbank, SAP, AOK, and Sky Deutschland all froze my money, so I couldn't go to court to get my compensation. I've been surviving on very, very little money, like virtually nothing.
Actually, you're living here in Trier?
Yes, for 3 months, yeah. So my hand got really badly infected. And I had a doctor in Bonn and 2 doctors in Cologne say, "You need to go to hospital immediately because this is now dangerous." So I went to the uni clinic 4 times over the period of Christmas, December. And the doctors there kept saying, "Nothing wrong with you," belittling me, "Go away, little boy." And it got worse and worse. So I had to take an emergency train to Aachen. And they said, "Plastic surgeon, immediate antibiotics, 24-hour watch." And it was so painful. And it's still painful, but they managed to stop it. And the crazy part is the 4 times that I was in the uni clinic, they never registered me. So I gave them my AOK card and the medical certificates from the doctor saying, "Medically treat this person urgently." And then when I went back and I said, "Why did you treat me like this?" they're pretending like I was never in the hospital. I said, I have an apology from the emergency doctor, the professor, saying, "I've never seen anything like this. You were in this hospital 4 times and we have you registered nowhere." But I saw 4 doctors who gave 4 wrong diagnoses.
There was no documentation in the hospital.
I was being given medical advice and they had me recorded nowhere. Not at the emergency and not at dermatology. And the thing is, dermatology wrote a letter of apology, and then when I started to ask a lot of questions and I want to be compensated, they're pretending that I was never there and they won't give me my medical notes. The other one was when because I've been subjected to so much, I had to have an operation down here. And not so much a medical thing, but they were mocking my financial situation. I've lost tens of thousands of euros from this SAP Sky Deutschland thing. They were laughing before I went into anesthetic. They refused to give me food. They wouldn't let me use the phone. It got so bad that I had a catheter. the catheter was broken, the nurses wouldn't help me. The German gentleman opposite me said, I'm very sorry you're being treated like this. I'm in the toilet with a German guy trying to fix my catheter, and then as I leave, they refused to take the IV drip out, and my friend who was a nurse had to take the IV drip out from the hospital. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So what I did was, I put all this evidence together, and I had emails going back and forth with all the professors, and they pretty much said, yes, mistake, 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 mistake. I said, you could have killed me, like it was that bad. And then when I started to say, you need to compensate, the concussion thing is the worst one, because I don't know how bad my concussion is. It was really, really bad. And my hand has not been the same. Like it's almost, I have to have cortisone cream almost all the time now on my right hand. And when I started to ask more and more questions, they just shut down. So I contacted the arts camera for that region, and they wrote a letter which he just read, saying we're going to investigate these hospitals. I mean, these are the medical reports. I'm not Mohammed. You know what I mean? And the thing is, my problem is I now have a Barishnagung shine 3 in Tria to get a lawyer to send it. But the problem is, the arts camera in the Northwest region wrote me a letter 2-3 months ago saying we're going to investigate this. Yeah. Yeah. And now they won't talk to me. I've tried calling them, I've tried emailing them, and I don't know what they're doing, and I want to make sure I know what they're doing before my lawyer sends a letter. That's the Barishnagung from the court. But it's outrageous now. And I can't get a new job until all this is fixed. I'm living on no money, like zero. And just one last thing. This is so if you look at here, we apologize to you for the way we treated you. This is the hospital, the Uniclinic, that is now saying you weren't even there in the hospital. How can I not be in your hospital if you wrote a letter of apology? That doesn't make sense, does it? It was so dangerous. I don't know how I survived these last 6 months, really. It's been horrendous. And I even have an email from the head of emergency saying, I have never seen this before. I don't know how you physically could have been in our emergency and we didn't even know you were here. 4 times. If I didn't go to the Louisiana hospital, I could have lost my hand. That's the San Antonio's hospital. And this is what they're now doing. I went to emergency here, and I said, I need to get my medical notes because I'm going to go to a lawyer. Dermatology is refusing. The emergency said, it's by law, you have to give them his, and they won't do it. They won't give me my file. That's completely illegal. Not just in Germany.
So I can take a photo with this.
Please, because I don't know what's happening.
What's happened? What happens there?
And the thing is, I have medical attests from doctors saying this guy is being treated horrendously, like from all over Germany. Like, why is he being? This is the Louisiana hospital that saved my hand. But if you look, like, I don't know exactly how much damage they've done to me. And then you have hand infection. These are all copies, right? But it all proves migraines. I have a massive problem with my eye now, all because of what these 3 hospitals did. I'm running all over Germany with no money, trying to save my life. I can't even see properly out this eye now. They had just one last thing. In San Antonio's, I said about my eye, they had a doctor come in who looked like she was just back from holiday. I'd seen 2 eye doctors before that who said, okay, you got a big problem. She looked for 10 seconds and went, you look fine, go on. I said, how can you possibly say that? It was just horrific. And I just want to find out what they're doing before I get a lawyer to.
Perhaps it is necessary to take a lawyer.
But what I mean is, I'd like to. They just all contacted me. They said they would investigate the hospitals, and now they do nothing. Really, I don't know how I'm still alive after my medical treatment here. Really, I don't.
Rausschild von der Ärztekammer in Trier, bei Picknick. Guten Tag. Ich habe hier einen Herrn Barry Fraser sitzen, der spricht nur Englisch und der hatte sich von einer Beschwerde für an Sie gewandt. Und der hat auch eine Eingangsbestätigung vom 5. März. Ich würde Ihnen mal das Aktenzeichen von dem Herrn sagen.